Hi guys, I'm Bushcraft Hamster and I wanted to do a short video today about a new knife that I've just picked up. It's the Buck Bantam BLW in Hunterz Orange, and this is basically just a little backup knife for me. I've owned one of these previously. It is quite a well made, well built little knife. Obviously it's got the bright orange handle. It's got a good solid lock on it. And I thought I'd run you through just a couple of bits and pieces to do with this knife. I suppose the technical specifications, it's got a 7.9cm blade, which is 420 high carbon steel. The overall length is 19 centimetres, and the handle material is fiberglass reinforced nylon. Now the handle, the one thing I would say about this knife is the handle does feel a little bit plasticky. I mean, it's not a problem for me personally, but I know some people like a slightly sort of more rugged, maybe a sort of G10 handle as opposed to the fiberglass reinforced nylon. But personally, I quite like it. It's got a good feel in the hand. The grip is a nice size and shape. For me, it's quite comfortable. If I come up close to this, the lock for the blade is actually in the centre of the handle, which I find quite useful. Essentially, you know, a lot of them, the older knives, they used to be right at the back there. This one, it's in the middle. I just find it's slightly better placed for my thumb, certainly. You can also see on the front of the blade here, you have got the little thumb studs, which means you can open it one-handed. And with a little bit of practice, and I don't recommend doing this if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually close it one-handed as well. But whether you need to do that or not is obviously entirely up to you. But what I wanted to do, there's a couple of things that I look for in a knife like this. One is in an emergency to be able to, or I say an emergency for lack of a better term, but to be able to batten wood. So here I've got just a small piece of wood, bearing in mind the size of this blade and the fact that it's a locking blade. You don't really want to be battening, huge logs or anything like that. You're just not going to do it. But with this, I just wanted to be able to show you that it is possible to batten with this, if you need to. If you want to process some firewood, you haven't got a big knife with you, but you do have some smaller stock. So there you go. It's entirely possible to batten with this knife, if that's what you want to do. The other benefit, or the other reason I carry a knife like this as either a backup, or if I don't want to take one of my larger fixed blade knives, is just so you can do sort of normal camp tasks. So for example, if I want to create a fire and I want to make some feather sticks or some shavings, it needs to be sharp enough to be able to do it. I mean, this comes sharp out of the box. I haven't done anything to this blade yet. Normally, whenever I get a new knife, I'll either give it a strop. In some cases, some knives that you buy aren't as sharp as I would like them to be out of the box, so I'll give them maybe a hone on a whetstone or an oil stone. But this, I didn't feel the need to as yet, though I will strop it later. But basically, in terms of taking off shavings, it's not actually a bad knife. You can get some pretty fine shavings. If I wanted to use this as tinder and kindling for a fire, this actually works quite well. And again, by giving this a little bit of a strop later on, which I will do, that will just improve that sharpness on there. there you see you have quite a nice fine bundle of shavings. Obviously you can do as much of this as you like, and this will be very, very good material just to hold over your tinder once you've got your initial flame ready to start your fire nice and easily without too much of a problem. In terms of the rest of the knife, so you've got quite a nice belt clip on the back here. So obviously, you know, if you want to carry that around in your pocket or on your belt, it just means it's a nice secure fit. You know, there's no looseness in it. It's got a good spring on the steel. The other reason for me buying this in the Hunterz Orange colour, as opposed to one of the more traditional camo, you know, greens and browns, is that if this does fall out of my pocket, or I do put it down somewhere while I'm out, I've got a much higher chance of finding it again because of the nice bright colour. You know, camo has its place, and I do have knives and other items that are in sort of traditional camo colours, but actually I'm moving more and more now towards these kind of bright colours, mainly so that I can find things again when as I inevitably do, just put them down and completely forget about them, then have to start casting around trying to find them. But I hope that was useful. I mean, all in all, my personal opinion of this knife, for the small amount of time that I've used it, it's a really good little knife. Is it going to do everything I want to for bushcraft? No, not really. But as a backup, with just a little bit of an extra, you know, something to keep behind in my bag, absolutely brilliant. Thanks, guys.